I was just sharing a funny story. So, um, what we'll do is get started if everybody is okay with that. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So, welcome to our Wyland Park Civic Association for February. And we're going to start with Mr. Caldwell because
Hello,
we have
everybody.
an icebreaker.
Hey, everybody. Long time no see.
Yeah.
Been very busy, COVID busy, as I like to call it.
COVID busy.
Yeah. So, my icebreaker would be, what would you consider the best quality of your neighbor? And for me, I would have to say the camaraderie. I haven't met a neighbor that's so, you know, intuitive about giving us heads up about things that's going on, people that's around our house, and just looking out for us. I've never had that before in my life, so I would have to say that that's one of the best qualities of it all.
That's really nice. Okay, thank you. Well, how about I just call on people and then they can share with us their best quality of neighbor. Um, hey, Michael Wilcox, you want to go first?
Sure. Um, so certainly I live next to Matt Adair and Tyler Bender and can count on them for everything. But my neighbor across the street, who I've probably only spoken to twice, was out of town and he didn't know that his furnace was working. And he gave me the code key to his back door. And then, I picked up his mail and he had me go in and I reset his internet. And I thought, how interesting that he trusted a neighbor well enough to give that person access to his home when he's in Los Angeles. I'm resetting his internet, picking up his packages. And it just goes to show how different a quality of life can be when you have neighbors that you can count on, who can help you in a bind and that you can trust. And that I've always found that among everyone who lives around me. So that's what I appreciate about Wyland Park.
That was pretty cool. Thank you. Okay, I see a Meredith Reed. Hi, Meredith. Would you like to share with us a quality about your neighbor that you really found refreshing or that you like?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me, right? Can you hear?
Yep.
Okay, so my favorite neighbor is Perry, a couple doors down. And I only see him every once in a while, but just long conversations every time, just catching up and just have a general agreement about things happening in our street and watch out for, nonsense happening or good things happening or, just chats. Like, I just love random chats. It's just, it's not the deepest relationship, but it's the one that makes me feel really connected, to the place. I love it.
Great. Thank you so much. Hey, Roger. Hi. Would you like to share a quality about your neighbor?
Sure. Laura Bidwa is our neighbor, and she has an ample rosemary plant in the front of her house that we have cut so much off of, and it's still going strong through the snow. And
Whoa.
I love having her down there, and not just for the rosemary plant.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, great. Well, then, Laura Bidwell, we're going to go to you next.
I was going to almost say the same thing as Meredith, because Rory and I spend a lot of time sitting on our porch, and I just love neighbors who stop when they're walking by and just have a chat, and there are a bunch of people who do it, and it's just such a gift. But since that was already mentioned, I'll say that another amazing quality of one of my current neighbors is that she is a mouth-watering baker, like such a good baker, like an over-the-top baker. So it's amazing. And she is not just a good baker, but a generous baker.
That helps. Okay, thank you so much. Hey, Rob, how are you? Rob Paletto.
Tanya, how are you?
I'm great.
Um, Gosh, you've already said several things. I mean, the thing that's been tough about me for winter is not being able to spend more time outdoors, or like not wanting to be outdoors. Like I could, because I do actually talk to a lot of the neighbors that live around here, and have long chats, which I do really appreciate. Um, Occasionally, my one neighbor will give me food. She had extra fast food a few days ago, which I normally don't eat, but it was kind of hit me right at that time in the afternoon when I was like, "Oh, I could eat that hamburger." So I'll kind of echo off that. And I'll have to remember, like, when we start getting the park up and running and there's people around, I like to bake, Laura, and I'm single and live alone. And so that's a terrible combination, because then I will eat all the baked goods myself, which is not a good
Yep.
idea. So you might
Terrible
see
combination.
cookies on my front porch sometime this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Ms. Dixon, how about you?
When the snow happened, everybody was helping push each other's cars out because they were stuck. And my gutter fell down on one side of my house, and the neighbor couldn't wait for me to come home so he can tell me that it fell down, and always watching out for each other.
That's a great quality. Thank you so much. And Chris?
Yeah, this is Chris Michiki. One of my neighbors is just north of me in one of the CPO apartments, and every time she's outside, she always waves and says hello, and we always have a short conversation just to check up on each other, and it's sort of nice that, we have that little connection.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Hey, Matt and Tyler. Wanna tell me
Hey.
about your best quality of your neighbors?
I think mine, there's so many have been said, but would be like commiserating with people about bad issues happening. Like one of our neighbors was having issues with rats, and so I, was able to give her a couple of pieces of advice about, dealing with her landlord and dealing with the city to handle that. So sometimes, acting like a, resource for people when they need advice. And then Tyler, why don't you tell your story about the car you helped push out?
Oh, like recently there was some students that live across the alley from us, and she was stuck in the alley trying to get up her driveway, and Matt and I were driving home, and she was blocking the alley. So I got out and helped push her car back up with her roommates, and they were like, "Oh my God, I've never pushed a car before." So they were kind of pleasantly surprised that they could do it.
Fun.
So that was
That's
a fun
always-
neighborly experience.
Oh, sure was. You sure needed it too. Christine Masters.
Oops.
Let's see. We have Elizabeth Kloss as a neighbor, and she's, kind of in the know and helpful with the community garden. And we kind of grab sage and stuff like that from there. And we've had like COVID hangouts on our street, which is outdoor kind of stuff. And I think Boxing Day, she had people over to her backyard.
That's pretty cool. A connector. She's a connector. Right. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Okay, Pastor Rosie, would you like to talk about a good quality of your neighbor? You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
Well, I'll just say that it's kind of a joy to be the church in the community, and to have everyone come together in crisis and come together in current situations like what we're dealing with now, and to have that support. That's an awesome thing.
Okay, I understand. You're absolutely right. And Dr. Foley.
So our immediate neighbor will be Schoenbaum. One of the things that Annalise has been very helpful with, that before our scholars came back, her and I were having discussions about challenges that have been at Weiland that affected both of the sides of the building. And one was parent pickup. And so in talking with her and collaborating with her, and then taking it back to our team, we've been able to put more structure in place. And so I would say she has been very helpful with, just the tips, and because I truly believe in reaching out and asking for help and also for feedback. And so this week I followed up and said, and I always ask parents, hey, what do you think about the pickup? How do you think it's going? We've only had like one negative experience. And I think it was like, just a misunderstanding. And again, anytime you put new things in place, we have to get used to it. But it has been awesome to see parents pull up, not get out the car. We walk around, we collect names, and we call our scholars who are very slow with coming out. But having that helpful tip from Annalise has been remarkable, and even from, I'm gonna give another shout out. So I'm sorry, I'm taking the time. Miss Martin, I see your face. Having the feedback from our parents has been very, very helpful. Miss Martin would have been laughing at me the other day because I kept yelling at a parent, get your mask. Just because you're picking up doesn't mean that you don't need a mask. Get your mask on. And so we started handing out masks and letting them know that, during this time, at all times, we have to be careful and we have to be safe for them and our scholars. So yeah, very, very helpful.
Absolutely. That's good to know that people are still trying to help and being good neighbors. Thank you.
I have to give a quick shout out from Hamlet Street to say it has been so good to hear y'all loading those kids back at the end of the day again. It's just does our heart. It's just great.
Oh, the sounds of school, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool. I see a D. Gooseby. Miss Gooseby, would you like to tell us something that you really like about your neighbor that icebreaker is? A quality that you really enjoy about your neighbor?
I'm a member of the 7th Avenue Community Missionary Baptist Church, and I guess COVID has kind of slowed us down. But what I have enjoyed, especially, I am a part of the ministry for feeding that we did every 4th Saturday, as well as when we were doing the produce giveaway. So what I enjoyed about the community, it seems like you are very close knit. When we were doing the produce giveaway, it was like everybody wanted to help. If they knew something was going on, they were willing to share it. So that's what I like about the community.
Okay, great. That's a great thing, great quality to have in your community, everyone wanting to help. Thank you so much. Hey, Ashley Martin, did you hear what the icebreaker is?
Yeah, what do we like most about our neighbors or something along those
Mhm.
lines?
Mhm.
Maybe it's just because it's been so sunny the past couple days and it's starting to warm up. But I love how as soon as the weather starts to improve just a little bit, everyone on our street is out on their front porches and they're walking. And yesterday we were out front for a couple hours and probably saw 8 neighbors and got to chat and catch up. And that is, I think, such like a special little, I don't know, way to connect with people in kind of informal ways that I think just doesn't happen a lot of places. So that's one of my favorite things.
Right, mine too. And my most favorite things about my neighbor, the lady next door, her name is Liz. She hears about something going on in the community and she jumps on it. Like when we had the front porch potluck, she was right on it, so excited to be a part of that. And she too had a garden full of herbs, and she allowed me to come over and just clip away on basil, rosemary, cilantro, tomatoes. And I had my own garden, but we had a ball sharing our stuff. So that was so nice and neighborly of her too. So
yeah,
great
the garden sharing and houseplant clipping game is strong on this part of Hamlet Street as well. And I just, yeah, gives me life.
It's so cool.
Oh,
It is really cool, right? Fresh basil on your spaghetti, nothing like it. Koei, thank you so much for a wonderful icebreaker. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we can just move right along. Thank you everyone for participating. I do believe I got everybody. So we will move along. And first on our agenda would be Dr. Foley. She is going to give us an update on the Columbus City Schools reopening. A lot of you may or may not know, and you probably can tell by now, that Dr. Foley is the principal at Wyland Park Elementary School. So, take it away, Dr. Foley.
So hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. I was explaining to Ms. Long that My nights have often been late at the school, and so I do apologize with not being able to show up as often to the meetings, but I do truly appreciate. I'm really glad that she reached out to me and I was able to make some time today. And so, as you all know, that the reopening was I think we had like a 2-week notice. I had literally, before we received the information from the district, I had just got off the phone with someone and I was like, no, I don't think we're coming back this year. You know, we're having to make sure we get transportation in order. And it just in conversations, like I didn't see it happening. And then I had to call that person back and say, okay, in 2 weeks, our babies are going to be coming back. It's going to be blended. And so one of the hard transitions was having our scholars go from 5 days, having that opportunity to see their teachers virtually for 5 days, to now it's 2 days. They're in-house with them. And then on the other 3 days, they're asynchronous. So they're completing work, but they're also able to meet with their specialist during that time. That was, and it's still up, you know, in discussion. And I know a lot of parents have shared their concerns. And so I think that's something that, you know, Dr. Dixon has truly taken in consideration, because our first thought is, one, the safety of our scholars and also of our staff. Today, I know you all saw that we are now having our 6 through 12 come back. That announcement came out. And so I don't know the details. I didn't have a chance to look at the details, but that has been something new. But for Weiland, our enrollment is still around the 325 mark. We have several kids who are at Digital Academy. So that means that they are completely online. They are self-paced. They do check in with a mentor weekly. Our building is disinfected throughout the day. I've never seen Mr. Palmer and Mr. McDougall walk through the building so much. It's like every 5 seconds I'm passing them as they're disinfecting door handles, making sure that teachers have what they need. Every teacher has, you know, everybody has their PPE. But I think what was the joy on the first day was watching our scholars walk to school, watching our scholars get dropped off. Every single baby had on a mask. They were perfectly fine with keeping the mask on. They're really good with sanitizing. They'll even ask, can I get some hand sanitizer? And I'm like, oh, sure. You know, don't mind at all. And the spacing. And we're looking at some changes that have happened this year. And challenges. Let me just look at challenges really quick. One of the challenges was with Weiland, even when I was there as an educator in the classroom teaching, Weiland to me has always been that community partner school. And the challenge this year has been, okay, how can we continue to have those relationships during COVID, and what does it look like? And so trying to find ways to continue to collaborate and participate. CPO was able to come back into the school this week. We have a student success coach who'll be working with small groups in a large area, of course, not within the classroom. We also have See Kids Dream. And so they work a lot with identifying challenges and problems in your neighborhood and being a leader yourself as a scholar, and how can you help solve them or come up with solutions. We decided for them, because normally they come in the building on Thursdays, so they're Zooming. We also, another challenge that has hit us, and it wasn't unexpected because we knew that the grant would end up eventually ending this year. But with this grant ending, it ended up decreasing our budget $198,000. And so my work and my mind has been really focused on how can I make sure that our scholars continue to have what they need. And it always helps to have your wants too met, but making sure that I prepare not just for ending this year, but I'm looking ahead for the next 2 years. How do I make sure that we have the extra supplies that we need? How do I make sure that we have technology that we need that the district may not supply, but have those extra buffers in the building? So those are things that I'm working on. But it has been a joy to have the kids back. I walk through every single day. Every day I get in 12,000 steps. Lord knows before that I was probably doing 1,000 because I was just working from home and I'm in the computer, in front of the computer all day. But then in the building, I'm getting 12,000 in. I go to every single classroom. I talk to every single scholar. I look at the work that they're completing because I want that environment to be normal for them. I don't want them to feel like just because I have this shield in front of me, I can't interact with the adults. And so we've had parents who had a hard time deciding, should I send my child back? Is it going to be okay? And so we had some parents come, we did one-on-one walkthroughs with them. And then I follow up with the parents because one mom, when I saw her picking up her child, because I didn't see her scholar that day when I walked through because he came later. But when I saw her at the door picking up, I said, wait a minute, you're here picking up your baby? Like we did this, and because she said, I'm not here yet. I'm right here. Because before it was this, they're not coming. I don't care. Y'all can call children's services. I don't feel okay. And so in talking with her and trying to provide her with this right here, I don't guarantee, I can't offer you a 100% guarantee that your child will not be exposed to COVID. I can't say that they're not going to test positive. We go to grocery stores, we walk by our neighbors, as you all were stating, and anything can happen. I said, but what I can guarantee is that we are doing our darndest in this environment to make sure your baby is safe. We are monitoring them at all times. And so once we have those conversations and that piece starts to come in, it has been very helpful. And for parents who are still not okay, it is okay, it's fine. I've been there and I understand. But it's just, it would be awesome to have everybody back, but I think that will cause more nerves to go like, wait a minute, what about the kids? What about the kids? And with us not, research is being completed, but none of us know what's really going to happen. But our ultimate goal is to make sure that we are loving on our kids and we're educating them. So I'm trying to look at my list. Is there anything I didn't cover?
What's the basic pattern right now for kids at Wyland Park Elementary? Like, when are they in and when are they out? And
so we're on the blended schedule. So half of our scholars come Monday, Tuesday. Everybody is home on Wednesday. And then the other half of our scholars is cohort B. They come on Thursday, Friday. And so when you look into the classroom, our cohorts, I will tell you, are small. We have small cohorts. We have one class I subbed in. I cover actually Eliza's lunch every day. I cover her lunch, and usually there's no more than 2 to 3 kids in the classroom. I think the largest I've seen attend in a day is 11. The way the classrooms are set up, there's no more than 15 kids to be in the classroom, and the desks are 6 feet apart. We do know that, CDC has changed it to 3 feet to 6 feet, but the district hasn't sent us any changes stating that, oh, you can move this. The thing that I'm working on right now is trying to figure out if Dr. Dixon says we're bringing all kids back, how do we make sure that we continue to have a safe space? How do we do lunch, and working on that schedule? So that is something that I'm working on just in case it comes to be proactive. But that's how we're working right now. Yeah.
And the bus routes, are kids getting home in a timely manner?
So they are. Now the first week, I'm gonna be honest, we had buses pulling up to the school. Out of 4 buses, I would have 2 kids get off the bus. Because a lot of parents still don't feel comfortable with their children being on the bus in that smaller space. And so we have several parents who are bringing their kids to school and picking them up. Now that the weeks have gone by, they're arriving on time. And I would say we have 90 kids scheduled to be to receive transportation in the building. Out of the 90, I would say probably about 30 of our families are taking advantage of it totally, like in total.
Okay, so they're not really doing it in shifts.
Yeah, they're doing really good. They're really,
okay,
really good. Yeah. and even their communication with us has been awesome. I greeted every single bus driver the first few days. I do the bus duty in the morning. And so I wanted to make sure that they knew that I was there to support them, and because they got my babies, I need to make sure that they're okay. And so they're awesome. They have my cell phone number. They're good.
Okay, good, great. Does anyone else have any other questions of Dr. Foley?
No questions? No?
Okay. Well, I guess you did a pretty thorough job. So
I hope.
Christine,
I hope.
well, Christine, looks like Christine has a question.
Maybe I
Yes.
missed it, but is there a specific way we can kind of support you guys at Wyland Park Elementary?
So
Good question.
that was a great question. Let me throw out this, because at first I wasn't going to say it, and then I was like, I'll wait, because I always, Miss Martin, I'll call her. She saves in my phone. But so this is a challenge. I am one who, like, I love building relationships. I'll call someone and be like, hey, can you, do you think you can help us with this or help us with that? The hard thing has been the limitations that the district has put on us with allowing other people coming in. And so if I was to have one way that we've been truly blessed was Mrs. Martin had presented an issue. Like, she was like, wait a minute, we got to work on this. And so one of the challenges that we had, and she wasn't the only one, was that we're not able to use our recess equipment. And so when the students go outside, they all have to be socially distanced, but we don't have equipment for every single scholar. And so she jumped on board. She came up with a solution. She sent me an email that I was able to share with other principals to also bless them in return. So this was the challenge. After working all day, I'm thinking, okay, teachers are going to stay after and help me go through it. They're like, we've been with the kids from the time they walk in the door until the end of the day. So they're out. And so trying to find some possible volunteers, and it could only be on a Saturday that I can have, I don't want to say outsiders, but our outside of the building family, I'll say that. Be able to come in and we social distance and possibly put those things together for the kids, because I don't want it to be pushed aside, especially with us being blessed. Like, I looked one day and out of the blue, there were boxes just stacked at the door. And we're so grateful, and just trying to figure out how we can get that possibly scheduled, maybe on a Saturday, if anyone feels it touched in their spirit and they're in your heart. I will be more than willing. I'm forever like, I can meet you at the school. Let me know when we can do, get it together. Ms. Martin, that sounds like a project for you.
I will say too that we're still collecting like individual recess items. Like I think on the list right now is like bubbles and sidewalk chalk and jump ropes. Things like that each individual student will have their own baggie of that they can play with every day at recess. And we still have items that we need for that is on our Amazon wish list. And I posted that on the neighborhood Facebook group a week or two ago. I can repost it if anyone needs it.
Yep, click with love. That's what I say. Click with love. Because we had one teacher who, Miss Martin, Miss Joseph, I walked into her classroom and the kids, there were two young ladies who I said, oh, I love your Play-Doh. Green is my favorite color. And they were like, Dr. Foley, because I said, oh, make me a hamburger. She said, no, we're making pizzas today. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. And so while I'm talking to them, by the time I leave the classroom, I looked back over and I'm like, hey, that don't look like a pizza. And I said, are you making a special pizza? And she said, oh, we changed our mind. We're doing lollipops right now. So just to see them, even though they're sitting at their desk, and she made her own bags, Miss Joseph did, for indoor recess, to see them really engaged with their activities and they're listening to their creativity has been awesome. And so I think to have that opportunity when we go outside will be even better. Today was a good day. Like, today would have been a day that they could have had some crazy fun. So it's been something, but I do want to say this. I guess I'll end with this before I go. One of the things I've been sharing, even with the teachers, I've been very honest with our parents, is that my goal and my vision for Wyland Park is for us to be set apart. When you hear, when a lot of people hear Wyland Park, they immediately have this preconceived notion like, oh my gosh, like, oh, that school is this or that school is that. And so I told, our teachers that I want people to come to our school and know that it doesn't matter what classroom you go into, your child is going to receive the same quality education. They're going to be loved on, and the communication between the parents and the school will be like this, because that's what I want for my child. If I don't feel comfortable with my child being in my classroom or walking into another teacher's classroom, that's an issue. And so that's what we're working on. We're not there yet, but that's what we're working on. And so throughout the summer, the teachers know we're going to have boot camps, and it's about us providing service. I truly believe in great customer service, but we are here to serve you. We are here to serve our kids. And I've had to put out there that if you're not able to do that, if you're not able to see our babies as our babies and not just my class or my kids, but it's our kids, then this may not be the building for you. So I have been honest and I've said that. But I've said that because we want to have the right people serving our families. And as I told them, I'll do it, whatever I got to do to support you, because I believe in building leaders. It takes more than one person to lead a building. It takes a building of leaders to lead that building. And so we're going to get the work done. I just want to say I thank you all for trusting us with our scholars. I truly appreciate your trust and support. So yeah.
I know not everyone's on Facebook, but I know that the neighborhood Facebook group is a pretty active group. And so if you ever feel like you've got a Sunday or a Saturday coming up when would be a good day to have some people, throw the word out.
Okay, I sure will. All right. Well, thank you all so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. I feel like I took up too much time, so much long. You probably won't invite me back. But.
No, you actually didn't. We had someone that was not able to be here, so it was okay. We had a little extra time, and I'm glad you were able to say what you needed to. And I hope everyone feels comfortable and okay, a little more informed about how Columbus City Schools, especially in Wyland Park, has come together. And it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job, and we're so happy to have you.
No, look, I'm happy to have you all, because there are some schools, I will say this, I don't panic. I don't panic because I know that I have a great community association. I have awesome parents who step up to the plate. Instead of saying, oh my God, what are we gonna do? It's always, let's do this. Let's do this. And so I appreciate having solution-minded parents and partners with us. And we're gonna knock it out. We're going to be the ones that's going to be on the news, and they're going to be like, this is a school that started out, with a vision. And so, and I believe it. I said, we're going to be on CNN. Watch.
We're absolutely here to support you in any way. So never hesitate to reach out to us if you need us. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all so much, and have a great evening.
You too.
Go home and be with your family. You deserve
I'm
it.
actually, I came home today just for this. I said, let me help me get home early. I talk to you all later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was awesome. Did anybody have any questions real quick about the presentation with Dr. Foley? Okay, awesome. Well, hearing none, next we have an annual financial report that we understand is due every February. So Chris is going to go ahead with that and share it with us all now. Thank you, Chris.
Sure. Can everyone see the screen here?
Yes.
All right, I'll have a quick presentation here with some screenshots. All right, let me get that set up here. All right, so I'll just go through our starting and ending checking account balance. So we started off with a little over $4,000 and then ended up a little above $1,500 with a net change of $2,605. Some of our funding, our income that came in from 2020 was $300 came from Godman Guild to support some of the online Zumba courses that we offered in this past year. And then we also had our porch potluck, which generated almost about $100 in sales. Some items that we paid in 2020. The first few months of 2020, we had our in-person meetings. So we had 150 in childcare. We paid $200 in gift cards that we compensate our community connectors for reaching out to our community to remind residents of our Civic Association meetings. We also had a 4th of July contest where we asked all of our residents to decorate their front porches, and we awarded a winner for that. Again, for the first couple of months of 2020 with our in-person meetings, we had some food at our meetings, so $249 for that. And that also included our outdoor ice cream social that we had in the park over near the shelter. Next item is we have a insurance policy that we maintain for our annual festival. So $529 for that. $11.80 for some office supplies. $161 for our maintaining our website. $120 for our Zoom account and online meetings. And then finally, Zumba meetings were a little over $1,400. So that's the items that were money coming out of our checking for 2020. And then lastly, we did work with Aaron Prosser with Campus Partners. So we requested for our next tranche of money. So we were just recently awarded that within the last week. So Tanya and I, will work hard to determine, what type of programs we will offer for our community this year and going forward. Did anyone have any questions? All right, to end, I just wanted to let everyone know, if anyone has any free time, we are looking for volunteers with taking meeting minutes for any of our meetings. If anyone's looking to help us with any engagement with our email campaigns or maintaining our website, or looking to join our leadership, reach out to Tanya and I. You can email us by going to our website, which is winelandpark.org. And you can just click on contact us and just write us a note down here. Or you can just email us at officers@winelandpark.org, and we'd be happy to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was a fantastic financial report. Chris is just amazing at the numbers. That's his whole thing. I don't deal with the numbers part. You want me dealing with the numbers, but he does a fantastic job. He stays on task, and he keeps such a good account of finances and where everything is going that I trust him implicitly. We are having, as we learn to navigate around the social distancing and being able to wear masks, we do anticipate having a Wineland Park Festival this year, so we will be working towards that. If anyone has any questions, any ideas, or any thoughts, you can certainly reach out to Chris or myself. And like you said, we are looking for a secretary, and we're always looking for someone to just step up and be a part of volunteering and helping out, along with our other wonderful committee members. So thanks again, Chris. I really appreciate you. And also, Catherine Cole was not able to be here. She is our Wineland Park Community Liaison, and she is also our resource maven for the month. So you may have seen that I have posted some things for this month on the Wyland Park discussion forum or on the Civic Association website. And I just want to make you aware of some of them if you have not seen them. And I think I saw Ashley post this one too, the warming station information. There were different places around the neighborhood and Columbus where people can go to get warm, particularly our homeless neighbors. So if they wanted to get warm, that information was up, so we can always direct someone to that. And we'll have information like that on the website, and I try to keep it stocked with things that are of interest to Wyland Park. She had sent us a flyer for Impact Hope. Fund rental assistance is back open, so you can get that Impact. That information is up, and again, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to send that information as well. There was a new free COVID test that you can still get. No copay, no appointment. The phone number for that was 614-319-6070. COVID testing, not vaccine, testing. 614-319-6070. There was, they had a fresh market with a food festival, and there was, on the 12th, there was a vaccine information session with Mayor Ginther and the Health Commissioner, Dr. Mashika Roberts, and that was on, did I say the 12th? It was on the 22nd, so that was this past week. And I did post that. I hope you were able to be a part of that. Also, there was a social work helpline voicemail if you need something that you feel that a social worker can help you with, any kind of issue, family, community, whatever. Phone number 645-6807. COVID updates. There's information. I have a website. Reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Let's see, free rides to COVID vaccine. I have a website for that. COVID-19 relief. They help you with rent, other resources from the Columbus Urban League. I have a resource for that. And I don't recall posting that, but I will be putting that up on the website for you guys too. And a home relief grant from businesshelp.ohio.gov. So I will be putting that on the website as well. So look for it after this meeting. And for questions or anything else that you heard me talk about, reach out to me, check the website, or check the discussion forum. They will be on there as well, okay? Great. So next, we will have our reports. Is Laura's next?
I'm Laura Bidwa, and I co-chair the committee of neighbors that came together to talk about rules for individual and kind of group events at the new park that's going to be opening this spring over on Grant Avenue and East 6th Street. Grant and East 6th Avenue. Forgive me. It's a tiny park. But we are lavishing great amounts of attention on it because we're really excited. It's kind of the first amenity to be added on that side of 4th Street in probably 60 years, 70 years. So we are putting some stuff together. The latest word is that they expect the planting and the kind of installation of the new stuff other than just ground cover grass to be sometime this spring completed. and potentially there to be some type of dedication sort of event later in the summer into the early fall. The committee is on hold a little bit right now because the park itself is not owned by the Wagenbrenners or Thrive Development that owns the rest of the property around there or is developing it, but it's owned by a quasi public-private thing called a new community authority. And right now they're reviewing with their lawyer the work that we put together over the past few months, and they'll be responding to us, and then we'll be able to kind of finish our work together as neighbors and start to share more information about how folks can use this park in ways that are open to the whole community, that also take into account the fact that it's a tiny park and it is ringed with houses right up on it. So we'll have more information coming up over the next few months, but that's where we are right now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Laura. Anybody have any questions for Laura? Okay, next, Matt Adair, if you have a housing committee report, and then after that, Pastor Roby, I think did you want to say something as well? Because we're going to let Matt go first, but if you have something that you wanted to talk about.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, great. All right, Matt?
Yeah, sure. Last month we talked about the 50 East 7th Avenue proposal. And I also mentioned the City of Columbus's zoning code update, which I put the link to the survey in the chat. So I encourage you to take the survey if you haven't. So next week, there's not really much on the agenda. I was gonna share the plans for the condo project at 8th and Indianola, just if people are curious. And then a small update from COSIC about the land trust, but really nothing. And then, I mean, that was really it. So I don't have anything really else for the agenda.
That's okay. Just want to hear from you and give you an opportunity whenever you do. But thank you for reporting. Okay, we appreciate it. Absolutely. Great. Also, so Pastor Roby.
Yeah, just to follow up, we really, 7th Avenue, and I really appreciate the support that you all showed to us during the UAC and also the housing meeting. And just to piggyback off of that, I was asked by our president, President Long, if we had heard from the developers since those meetings, and I shared with her that we did have a brief meeting with them and expressed our concerns, and we heard from them. And the big thing for us was we wanted to make sure they understood that it wasn't just about 7th Avenue Baptist Church, but it's about our neighbors that live in the vicinity around us. And we iterated to them that we're in this together, that we're a tight-knit community. And so that's kind of where things are. Again, we appreciate the support of the community, but we want you to know that it's not just about our church, even though we are directly impacted by being next door to them. It's also about the whole community, those who live in the vicinity that could be impacted by this project. And so have had some conversation with President Long and informed her that we'll be keeping her apprised of any future conversations with them, because we want to make sure that she's involved in that as well, to make sure that not just us, but the community is also represented at the table in any future conversations.
Anyone who hasn't been following this, what they're talking about is a new apartment building that's being proposed to be right across from Kroger on 7th Avenue. So where there's all those 2-story apartment buildings right now, just across 7th Avenue from Kroger, all those apartment buildings are going to be torn down and replaced by what they're currently proposing to be a 7-story building that will take up the entire lot. all the way up to where that first historic brick house is, over to the east edge. So if you're interested in following this, it's between our housing committee right now and the university area committee, commission zoning committee. And I think they're taking a month off this coming month, but things will be back in swing in April. So.
And just, I don't like entirely understand the process for this, but we gave our feedback at the UAC meeting. Does the developer have to do anything with that? Or does the UAC at this point, they get to say the project can or can't go ahead, or can go ahead with these modifications? Or I guess, what does the process look like from here?
Matt, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. UAC asks us first what we think, and then we tell them basically, and then UAC kind of votes on the variances, I think. But as far as the design of the building and the architecture, it still has to go through the University District Impact Review Board, UIDRB. So it has a couple layers of bureaucracy to get through. So it's still really early in the process, but they don't have to listen to us necessarily.
But they do have to listen to the UIDRB.
Yeah, UIDRB has the most power of anyone, because I believe their decisions can't even be overturned by city council.
What does that stand for?
University District Impact Review Board.
Okay.
They review design primarily, and the zoning variances, like this is one of those occasions where it's in some ways helpful to the neighborhood that the zoning code as it stands doesn't really have anything to do with the way the built environment is in our neighborhood. And so in order for anyone to build almost anything, it almost always requires significant zoning variances, which means the University Area Commission has to vote on it, supposedly often to approve it. And so there's some interest of the developer to get the University Area Commission to support what they're doing.
Okay, thank you so much. And
so,
I see Chris has a little bit more information up there about it. And I wanted to also say about Matt's survey. I took the survey, it didn't take very long, and I sent it to some of my neighbors and friends to take it as well. So please take that survey, it will really help us out. And also look at the information Chris sent on the UIDRB, so you can be a little bit more informed as well. It's always good to know what's going on in your own backyard, right? And we do stand with Pastor Roby as a community, because they are such a mainstay of this community, and they've been here for years. And we just want to preserve the history of the 7th Avenue Baptist Church and honor the contribution that they've made to Wyland Park. And we want to stand united as neighbors in this community, and just let it be known that, you know, we do have a voice and we do need to be included, even to the point of what are they going to do with the residents that they are upending out of their homes. Susan Colbert graciously offered to bring in a Spanish-speaking colleague of her. I think you guys met her before. I think her name was Joni. And we are going, I and Joni are going over to the apartments and talk to the residents there and ask them first, and the management, do you know what's happening? Have you heard anything? Have you been told anything? And just see what we can do in terms of advocating for them and seeing where they're going to be placed, or if they're going to be made room for them to be in these brand new apartments, or how that's going to look. Because, you know, this is our community. We do not take kindly to people upending people out of their homes and just saying, you know, to heck with you, you know, because unfortunately the company is coming from Chicago. I call that in the big city, the concrete jungle. They have no real idea or remembrance of what community is like. And so we want to show them what that looks like when they come to Wyland Park. So I know you all stand with me on that, and we have offered our help to Pastor Roby and Seventh Avenue Baptist, and we just want to be there for them. So with Matt and Laura, who know their stuff in terms of zoning and housing and architecture and history, and then Pastor Roby with their rich history and contributions, you know, we're going to make a formidable team, and I look forward to working with all of you on that and us standing together with the church, okay?
Madam President, might I also say that that was one of the sticking points in our initial conversation with them. We wanted to know how they were going to handle those that might be dislocated from this project. What was going to be the percentage of units that will be available for people based on their income levels and those kind of things. Those things were pointed out to them by one of our leaders in that meeting. So a lot of those things that you're talking about, we've already addressed with them initially in our initial conversation, and we're waiting to hear back what they're planning.
All right, great, and I appreciate that you did that. Chris has put up what this visual should look like. That building in the middle.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, so this was just the rough sketch that they came to our committee meeting. It hasn't gone, like Matt said, to the University Impact Review Board, but this is the Uncommon building right here. This is the church. Then they're going to demolish 2 existing apartment properties that are here, and then there's 2 single-family homes. So as proposed, you can sort of see the scaling with the 2 single-family homes, the church, and then the Kroger lot across the street. So that's basically what they've proposed so far to us.
And we'd be looking at parking issues. We'd be looking at overshadowing. I think spilling out over into the street behind is at Euclid, and the alley being infringed upon, just all kind of issues going on here that, you know, they have to be accountable to and for to see how that's going to work for people. So we have been talking to them, and also seeing what they would do in terms of working with the church in partnership. You know, it'd be. I have an idea. They could just offer to add more to the church or build it up or whatever. But then that would just be my thought. So.
And believe it or not, those were things that were discussed in that conversation.
Good. So anyone have any questions or thoughts?
I'm noticing that Michael put in the chat that he's joining the UAC. Could you give us an update, Michael, on it's you and Davia who are both coming on, right?
Yeah,
I
so
see that.
there were a couple empty seats. There were empty seats representing our district on UAC. I reached out to Doreen. I thought about running for one of the seats back in the fall and chose to take a pause. And then when these seats were still sitting empty, so I gave my 3-minute position of why I wanted to serve on UAC, and the existing members of the UAC, voted my candidacy in. I am only filling the rest of the duration of someone else's term, so I will only be there officially through the end of the year. If I would like to stay, then I will have to run for election, and people would have to vote on my candidacy. So I've made a 10-month commitment so the seat doesn't sit empty. And Davide from North 5th Street was the other person. So now Davide, myself, and Brian Williams will represent Wyland Park on UAC. And so our slots are fully filled.
Thank you.
I've been to one meeting and I've been on the commission for 9 days.
Well, then, would you be willing to give us a monthly report?
Sure. Yeah, there wasn't any, at the first meeting, it was very, we didn't discuss any projects. It was a relatively short meeting, but I can be a connector between the two. Yes, thank you.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Michael. You have my vote. Awesome. Great. Okay, well, Georgina is not here to give us a safety committee update, but I'm actually going to open the floor because we have a little time, and I still want to be respectful to everyone's time, even if we get out here a little early. If anybody has anything they'd like to say, share, comment on, or new business even.
I just have a really quick thing. We met with Woody and Evelyn about 4th Street Farms and the kind of future of the farms. And we're gonna, I don't know, we're gonna be taking it over or helping or managing or whatever. I don't know, it belongs to everybody. But it's spring is coming soon and we're gonna be planting, and it'd be great to have more people over there. And so we're excited about yeah, having a more active role and hopefully getting the community more involved over there. So
maybe next month we can have a little bit more information.
yeah, normally there'd be some kind of meeting in the garden, but we'll figure out what that looks like for COVID times. So but yeah, we hope some of y'all will venture over there, and we'll put out stuff through the Facebook group, invitations for whatever we figure out.
That would be great. Thank you, Roger. I missed their annual homemade ice cream, and one time they fried a turkey, and I just, I'm there for the food, so no. But no, I used to go to their annual meeting and community gathering concerning the gardens. And that does remind me, if you have seen this or missed it, Godman Guild is selling a portion of, they're closing down the community garden. It's always been a source of money woes and issues in terms of keeping it going. So they've made the decision to close it down. And so they will be selling, they'll be determining what is in the garden that they'd like to keep or save for, any kind of historical reasons or whatever, or preserve as they call it. But after that, they will open up the garden to the community for you to go in and maybe get something, a bench or some garden utensils or garden stakes or whatever they decided, they're willing to let the community have. And Ellen will let you know that, but I believe she put out a notice on the website. So just wanted to let you know about that. So Roger, I don't know if that will be of any use to you, but it would be there for you too if you wanted to add to the garden from there.
Thanks for that information.
Sure. Anyone else, any new business or anything else you'd like to comment on or contribute or add? Tyler, I see your finger up.
Hi, yes. I would just like to take this microphone. As the snow's melting, which I'm very happy about, and I think Matt and Michael and I have both noticed on our walks around the neighborhood, the trash is starting to reveal itself over winter. So I'd like to suggest maybe organizing a litter cleanup in the near future, maybe the first or second week of March as the snow more melts away. I don't know when, but I'd just like to throw it out there as an idea.
Why don't we try to?
Because we generally did the last Saturday of the month, right, Michael, generally?
It depended. Sometimes we did them on the first. I mean, there's no magic to it as long as we would give a little bit of notice. So I would say the earliest we would want to do it would be a week from Saturday. It could be still really cold that day and it could be fairly nice. So let's just look at the weather forecast and give ourselves at least a week or so to organize some volunteers. But it does.
I know you're bringing gloves, garbage bags, and your little trash pickers. Are you bringing donuts?
Yeah. If people go, they'll get a hot beverage, donut, and all the supplies.
I'd like to announce for everyone to hear that I have a huge stockpile in my basement of garbage bags that while I was an officer of the Civic Association, someone at one point handed to me. So I have a million garbage bags. So if anyone ever runs to the end of what you need for something like that, let me know.
I also, when Derek Houlihan, if you guys remember him, he came to one of our prior civic meetings. He was with Keep Columbus Beautiful. He also gave me a whole bunch of trash bags. So the city provided us a bunch of bags as well. So let me know and I'll come along too, as long as I'm free that day.
Yeah,
yes.
I had a good time doing it. It was fun. I walked around with Georgina and we enjoyed just getting to know each other. It's a great way to connect with your neighbors as well.
Really
Because we
is.
go in pairs, we just pick up trash and make the neighborhood look pretty. So
So I guess we'll try and organize something on the Facebook group.
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Tyler. Anyone else? Anything else? Ms. Dixon, you're awfully quiet. You got anything to say? You won't
I just
show us
have
your
a-
beautiful face.
I have a letter, but I can't print it because I'm not technology. So I do have a letter that I would like to share with sent to United so they can stop the project. I'm getting my words mixed up. So as soon as I get that letter done, I would like to pass it on so it can go to the University Commission about my ideal about what they're doing.
Okay, okay, that would be great. And we'll look forward to it. You let me know, all right?
As soon as I can get somebody to help me print it, I'll give it to you.
I have a printer, so just let me know. I'm here. I'll help you with administrative work. I'll help you with proofreading, anything you need, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Absolutely. It'd be great to help you. Anyone else? I see an Eden Tespe. Would you like to say hello?
Hi
Hello.
guys, how are you?
Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. I try to remember every month, especially now with the COVID, but a little bit I came late. I try just to come on time and I'm trying to participate more. So good to see you, everybody.
Well, that's amazing, and we're happy to have you, and it's okay, better late than ever. So we're glad to have you. We hope you remember us next month, the fourth Thursday of the month, 6:30 p.m., probably on Zoom, because I don't know that it'll be warm enough for us yet, but count on it being on Zoom, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, you guys have been awesome. Everyone's participated. I am very happy to see you all. It's just been wonderful. We've shared quite a bit of information. I hope you feel a little bit more informed and a little bit more connected. So you guys have been great. I'm not going to hold you anymore. I'm going to release you from Zoom and you can go back to your real world. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
See ya.
You too.